and he will be leading our today's session with the topic of AI for students. Mr. Ahwy, the stage is yours. I would like to kindly ask you to introduce yourself and the company of AI for productivity, and the microphone is yours.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir Akram. Let me share my screen. All right, so we can start immediately now, right? Yes, okay, cool. So hi everyone. First of all, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure for me to be here tonight, sharing the things that I've learned professionally and the things that I've done to other schools. I'm going to talk about AI for students, and the very reason why it becomes important for all of us to learn about AI is simply because when we see technology, when we see how all of these advances happen, we need to look at how there's an old saying that says technology always become twice as powerful every 2 years. So there's called Moore's law. So Moore's law says in every 2 years, everything will becomes double. We've seen that in ChatGPT. We've seen that how Gemini works, Quen works, Kimi works, all of those AI. And this is where my company that I built with Mas Hanif, AI for productivity, this is our role. We try to decrease the gap between reality of how AI growth and then the expectations. The gap is quite real. I mean, if we look at how CNBC characterize it, CNN, Bloomberg, all of those news outlet out there, they argue that because AI growth so fast, we are getting de-skilled. Usually the word that we heard is upskilling, but because of AI, it becomes de-skilling. The things that we've learned, the things that we acquired is now getting obsolete faster. And this is where AFP, this is where our role comes in. So the right side is me. This is me. I'm Muhammad Ahwy. The founder is Muhammad Hanif. I'm the co-founder. We've worked together for we've started this community early this year, but we've transformed it into a company in the middle of 2025, which is July 2025. We've grown over 20,000 followers on Instagram, more than hundreds of followers on LinkedIn. We have 4,000 members on WhatsApp channel and 2,000 members on Telegram groups. So we've grown quite a lot. And so here I am. I'm going to share what I've learned. I'm going to split all of this session into 3 parts: introduction to AI for students and implication in workplace, tools for studying productivity, and types of prompting. If you have any question, if you have anything that you want to ask, please just say so. If you can comment on the chat section, it's fine. Let me mute my WhatsApp first. Okay. Okay, first of all, I need to explain to you guys the findings about AI. In AI terms, there are lots of benchmarks. The 3 most important benchmarks for AI are humanities last exam. It's a set of questions made by PhD all around the world, especially from Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, which consists of thousands and thousands of questions. That is not available on Google. And then ARC-AGI to measure the fluid general intelligence, meaning given new context, can the AI think about the context and the status quo and then make a solution based on that? And then GPQA is a graduate program question. It's a set of PhD level science questions in biology, chemistry, and physics. And then Gemini 3, or maybe Google AI. Gemini is Google AI, and GPT-5. They can answer with 37% to 45% accuracy for PhD level questions. For AGI, that's 31%, a whole lot than GPT-5. For graduate questions, in regards to biology, chemistry, and physics, it's 91% accuracy. It impacted quite a lot. One of the things that I've seen in the work settings is management consultants like BCG, McKinsey, Bain, uh, Kearney, they started to reorganize because lots of the things that require time for research, understanding the market, and everything in between can now be done with AI. So the heavy lifting can be done with AI. Thus, if you see the news, if you read the news, there are lots of reorganization happens. Accenture suddenly laid off thousands of people. McKinsey halted hiring new people, reorganizing the team, and so on and so forth. So it's real. It's impacted quite a lot of jobs already. One of the things that quite shocking is art section. We thought, I personally thought, that art will be the last thing for AI to take over. Apparently, with AI art, for example, like Sora, I believe you've seen all of those AI content on TikTok or Instagram or any other social media. It takes over how people consume content. So uh, this is like the hallmark of change, right? The genie is out of the bottle. And then if we see the AI top scorers, they're using 4 different tests: Mensa, offline test, Mensa Vision, and offline vision. 4 different tests. We see that in May 2024, the average IQ of AI would be around 80, would be around 80. And then it goes up. By October 2025, it goes up to 110 to 140. The average IQ of AI is now 128. This is surprising. If we think about it, we can get PhD level research with a single prompt. We can get deep research about market, about journals, about writings, about art, history, even coding. I believe everyone already heard the term vibe coding. You make an app using AI. It's doable now. So one of the things that I've seen on the articles on the news is that using AI means you have a PhD level assistant that's ready for you 24/7. Now it's just up to you, up to us, up to me, up to everyone around here to manage the AI. Are we going to use it for our own advancement? I use it for my own business to analyze finances, to calculate taxation, to calculate cash flow, to manage account receivables, payables, and so on and so forth. So it's real. It helps a lot. Um, Now I'm going in the first section. I'm going to give 3 impacts in AI in teaching, in research, and in workplace. First of all, in teaching, it is universal that everyone uses AI. I believe you guys in your study, you're using AI, either for summarizing the news or even writing an article. If we work in creative industries like agencies, content, search engine optimization, and so on and so forth, they've already been using AI a lot, writing articles that bait Google to find their website. Everyone's using AI now. The commonly used are ChatGPT and Gemini. using AI have its own advantages. Like for example, you have personalized learning, as in you can have a conversation with AI, no matter how zero your knowledge is, no matter how low our understanding about a certain topic, we will not have a sense of embarrassment. We do not have a sense of pressure to say it upfront because we know that we're talking to an AI. We literally can go to AI and says, I don't know anything about account receivables. I don't know anything about market research. I don't know anything about, like, for example, McKinsey 7 strategy or about physics. And then they can teach us about it slowly yet surely. It also gives us fast feedback. One of the things that I've done to my clients is that I built a custom GPT for them to analyze CVs, to create job descriptions for hiring and recruitment, to to analyze performance, KPI, even to calculate people's salary. So you can do that. It also fast in feedback. If you open Gemini and then you do research, you can technically get a decent amount of research in a span of 4 to 5 minutes, just waiting. It cut a lot of time for us to do things. But there are disadvantages. For example, bias. For people, like for example, Indonesian people who are not well versed in English, it will be hard for them to really nail down the use of AI because most AI use English literature. Also reduce human interaction. That means sometimes that we prefer using AI for our conversation. One of the things that I noticed in Gen Zs from Indonesian people is that when they want to be vulnerable, curhat, they want to talk about their feelings, they prefer to use ChatGPT rather than going to a counselor or a psychologist. So reduce human interaction, which potential misuse and low accuracy. Sometimes the answer are not really coherent, which is there are two parts of problem with that. First of all, maybe the users are not using the problem clearly, and or um, they don't know what to do with it. They got the answer, but they're confused on how to progress from that. And the impact on psychology, even to therapists, it's real when we talk about empathy. In the research that I found when I'm building this article, when I'm building this material, I found out that the latest research says the participants in this research prefer answer from ChatGPT, prefer answer from Gemini, simply because the words those AI use are so understanding, towards the user. So the quality is really good. It touched the human part. Also make the user feel safe talking to AI, more so than talking to human, right? Because even if you go to a psychologist, your counselor, you feel like you're being judged and so on and so forth. Other findings are also that teaching is AI is better at teaching than humans. Because they got patience, they can understand where we are at our current knowledge, what are the gap, and then calculate the gap and how to shrink the gap. Humans can do that. A great teacher can do that. But even if he or she is a great teacher, she cannot handle 100 queries at the same time. We're talking about AI. AI can handle hundreds of query at the same time, maybe even thousands. And each of those answers can be personalized to you. So I'm kind of iffy on this. One of the things that I realized in my family is that when my little sister studies, her scores are quite high. But when I talk about the deeper knowledge about what she learned, there's a certain gap in that. So the understanding part quite lowers, but she got better scores. So kind of iffy on that. And on the workplace environment, it makes you become unemployable if you can only do one thing at a time. If you can only do one thing at a time, you will become unemployable. It's hard to find a job. T-shape, like you know some part of it, and then you know one part of, then you specialize with one knowledge. It's kind of good, but it can easily replaceable. Now people are looking for M shape. Like companies are looking for M shape. Like you can understand about content, at the same time you need to understand about research, about market, about product pricing, and so on and so forth. So you need to be a full stack on this. Else it's gonna be hard to you find to find a job. So in the workplace environment, breadth and depth, combine broad knowledge with deep expertise, multiple across multiple domains. Like for example, I am a generalist, but I know a certain amount of product. So product, I was a product manager before. I know a little bit about marketing, and I grow the account of IFP from 0 to 20,000-ish followers in the span of 4 months. And then other things like pitching, selling, and so on. So like it or not, every one of us need to understand other things that we've learned, other things that we've never learned before. To give you a little more about my background, I studied psychology. My bachelor's degree is in psychology. So I shouldn't be working like this. But because of AI, I can use it to learn a lot of things. And I can learn about meta ads. I can learn about paid performance. I can learn about content. I can learn about finances. I can learn about taxation in Indonesian context because I need to report taxes, right? I can learn about management. I can learn about HR simply because I'm just asking queries to ChatGPT or Gemini, and then they can help me out. They know the gap, they can shrink the gap, and I'll just follow the implementation program that they provided to me. Kind of nice. On the internet side, what happened is that starting November 2024, there are more AI generated content rather than human generated content. Even if you see content on LinkedIn posted by a certain someone, I think you already can guess that it is written by AI. And it is estimated in 2025, a greater amount of content is already generated by AI. Even in academic settings, 13%, 13% of global academic papers published in 2024 were written with some amount of LLM processing. This ChatGPT, Gemini, and other AIs have certain amount of words that they like to use, like delfs, underscore, overing, pivotal. Additionally, the analysis is based on the amount of words being used by AI. How much was it being integrated in the journals? So it's rising, and more people are using AI now. One of my professor, my friend who's a professor in Sanata Dharma, Jogja, she knows that all of her students are using AI. She knows that all of her students are using AI to write essays, to write arguments, to write rebuttals, to write analysis, to write summaries of journals, and so on and so forth. The only way for her to test her students is by calling them and then ask for a verbal explanation. Ask for a verbal explanation. If the student can articulate his or her thoughts clearly, then that means that he or she is using AI in a good way. Because the output might be written by AI, but he or she still studies the meaning of it and try to make a coherent argument about it. If the students are unable to articulate the problem, the thought, what's written in their essays, then that means that they're just using AI completely without second guessing, doubting, or even revising the thought of like what's written by AI. I want to ask you guys, I want to ask you guys, how many times you use AI for your studies? Can you share it on the group chat? Indeed, every day. Always. Right. Every day, every day, every time study. I want to also ask you, which AI do you usually use? Gemini or ChatGPT or someone use cloud? Oh, two people using cloud. Nice. Great. So let's see. Because everyone using AI right now, which is good. Let's talk about it in deeper parts. Okay. When we use AI, it doesn't matter like there are like there are like Chinese AI, Quen, Kimi, what else? DeepSeek, right? European AI, Mistral, USA, Grok, Gemini, ChatGPT, Cloud, Perplexity. So in general, if we talk about AI, there are three countries that develop AI in extreme ways. Chinese AI have Quen, Kimi, and DeepSeek. European AI have Mistral. USA have Grok, Gemini, ChatGPT, Cloud, and Perplexity, right? So I hope, well, wait. I hope everyone know, but save this. Let me put it on the comment section. Chinese AI, Quan, Kimi, DeepSeek, European AI, Mistral, USA, Grok, Gemini, ChatGPT, Cloud, Perplexity. Obviously, there are more, but the one who currently owns the market are these AIs. So it doesn't matter which AI that you use. In the end of the day, when you want to use AI accordingly, you need to understand about prompting. And prompting means that you know what you want. You know what you want. You need to know what you want. In simple terms, like if everyone already have used Grab or Gojek or Uber, uh, in Middle East there's Karim. Point being is, if you use Gojek, you need to know where you are right now, which is point A, and where you are heading, which is point B. So A to B, right? If you want to make a report, you need to explain to ChatGPT, to the AI that you're using, what metric do you want to see. If you want to make an article, what message you want the reader to get? If you want to do meta ads, what kind of creative and objective you want to aim? So it's A to B. The more you know about what you want, the more you can articulate what you want to the AI, the more that the AI can serve your needs. One of the things that I always like to say is if you chat to AI, either it's ChatGPT, Cloud, Kimi, Quen, if you talk to them as if you're talking to your friend on WhatsApp, the quality of the answer will be reduced like crazy. It will not serve your purpose, it will never serve your needs, and your expectations will not be met. You cannot suddenly say, please write it better, or please articulate it better, or please find better research. The word better is there are lots of interpretation in that sentence. So AI will not be able to confer to your knowledge and meet your expectations. You need to write it articulately so the AI can understand that. You need to really point out the point B that you want to aim for and then where you are right now. So after you understand that point A and point B is necessary, you need to find the best AI for your needs. In this case, there is a ranking for all AI in the world. LM Arena rank the AIs. Okay, so if you go to LM Arena and then you look at the leaderboard here, you can see that each function, there are different kinds of AI. For example, when you go for text, if you want the output to be text, here, the best AI for now is Gemini Pro. If you're a student, you can claim Gemini 3 Pro for free. And then the second one is Grok 4, Cloud, another Grok, and then ChatGPT is number 6. If you're going for vibe coding, the best one would be Cloud, and the second one will be Gemini Pro. We go down. If you want to make image, currently the best one is Gemini 3 Pro, and then Huanyun at 4th. Same like if you wanna find things on the internet, you wanna image edit. So each classification have different kinds of champion. But right now, the overall champion would be Gemini from Google. These ranking are always updated. Before in early 2025, ChatGPT won in almost in every category. And then Grok released their Grok 4, and then Grok started to win. And then Cloud released their own Sonnet, and then Gemini released their version 3. So it always changing, right? At one point, DeepSeek was number 1, but they cannot maintain their growth and their abilities, so it got dethroned. Personally, I use ChatGPT and Gemini. Sorry, apologies. I use ChatGPT and Gemini on my daily basis for research, finding new market, analyzing my ads, um, calculating my finances, and so on and so forth. Okay, in this section, I'm going to share to you the function that some ChatGPT have before we go into the prompting side. Let me open my ChatGPT. I'm doing my market research and everything in between. I'm using ChatGPT mostly. Only some use Gemini. Like, okay. Deep research is a query base. So you need to know what you're going to find. You need to know what you're going to research about. For example, in my work, I would ask, I want to craft a new product for Gen Indonesian Gen Z specifically for the career growth. When you use research, they will ask back about all of these things. This is called clarifying questions. It's like when you're working in consulting. I work in consulting before. Before you do any of your research and make PPT slides, deck, and so on, there are lots of clarifying questions that you need to ask to the stakeholders, right? Same thing like this. So community, then platform, based corporate settings, and state-owned enterprises. We're matching and upskilling, one-time fee. Now, usually I wait for ChatGPT to do his work. I also use another one would be Comet. It's an agent type browser thing. Um, so using Comet, you can literally ask for things that then it will research on their own. The thing that I usually like to do is using Comet for LinkedIn. For example, this one, then I open my network. It's a simple assistant and show all. I'm using Comet to do this, yeah. Aside from doing research, it can also do some work. Like for example, I have 304 invitation to my LinkedIn. I can ask, there are 304 invitation on my LinkedIn as shown on the left side. Please accept uh, all of them. And then Comet will take over the browser and then start to accept as ordered here. I usually use this to also find journals, analyzing people's Instagram, competitors' content, messaging, emailing. I use comment for emailing. As you can see, Comet started to accept all of this, and then it do all the work. It do all the heavy lifting. I'll send you guys the download link. Wait, yeah. Yep, for assistant bot, correct. Yes. You can use Comet to do research, to read journals, to summarize things, uh, even work on your LinkedIn. If you see my content on LinkedIn or on Instagram or on Threads, I usually use Comet. Like for example, auto reply for LinkedIn, for Threads, for Instagram, I use Comet. I can just order the AI to do whatever I want it to be done. See, it still continues. I don't need to check it. So I would say if your AI is not taking over your desktop, that means it's not agentic, but assisting. If your AI take over your desktop and work on its own, means agentic. Command is agentic AI. So it take over one of the browser tab and then work on it. You don't need to check it. You can see it later on. So if you have like 10 tabs or 15 tabs, each one of them can work on their own. You don't need to, like reprompting again over and over again. You don't need to do that. Have you downloaded Comet? It can help you in finding summaries, essays. Mm, I usually read at least 15 articles every single day using Comet to summarize all of the points and then turn it into Instagram account, to Instagram content, and then upload it to my Instagram. Even Comet can understand in Bahasa. You don't need to keep the chat open. You can just open a new one and the research still going on. Oh, you're using Linux. Wow. Okay. A friend of mine using Comet to analyze stock market and crypto trading. Uh, he found a little bit of success using it. Not much, a little bit of success. Not a financial advice. No, for study, I usually use this study and learn. So you go to ChatGPT, you go to the plus side, more study and learn. This is where you have a dialogue with ChatGPT and then ask for things. Like for example, when I learned about what is account receivables. Now you just have to wait. Please, sir, only in English for company level. So should be A. So this is what I said before. When using AI, it can understand the gap of knowledge that you have simply because when you ask a question, ChatGPT will ask you back to clarify your position, your stance, your level of knowledge, and then they will move forward based on the uh on your level. So you don't need to feel pressured, you don't need to feel embarrassed when you don't know anything, you don't feel the need to be perfect. You just get asked away, and then all of the questions given and all the answer given will be personalized to your level and then personalized to your level of understanding, which means that using AI, you can shrink the gap of knowledge simply because it starts where you at rather than trying to find where you at. Like for like if this is the real thing, like if assuming that I'm like learning this is me like back before, revenue is earned now, can highlight this thing and then ask ChatGPT. Click on this, it will immediately goes into this part, specifically on this part. I would say, why is the revenue earned? See, what I want lecture, let me guide you with the scenario. It can immediately make a scenario for you to understand the thing that you want to learn, which means again, it's a very personalized understanding at where your level at based on where your level, and then it can provide you with personalized dialogue. A good teacher can do this. A great teacher can obviously do this, but if there are thousands of questions at the same time, we're handling like more than 30 students, even a great teacher will start to falter. Now, aside from using all of this function, you can create image, agent mode, web search. You can use custom GPT. Anyone have already used custom GPT? When you go to the left side of the chat GPT,
Not yet.
not yet, all right, you go to this part, then you go to explore. And then you can find lots of chat custom GPTs. So custom GPT is a GPT with one single function only. All right. For example, like one of the questions was the thesis. So we can search about thesis here. We have to wait. There you go. So let's compare this into Play Store or App Store. Custom GPT is like the App Store, lots of apps, lots of custom GPTs. You can write thesis. Then there's a custom GPT only function. They only have one function, which is dissertation and thesis. Then you can just start chat. There you go. Lots of clarifying questions. You can work on this slowly. You can also create your own custom GPT. On my context, in corporate settings, I created custom GPT to understand about Indonesian law, Indonesian taxation, research about the market. If you see on my left side, there are assistant CX, customer experience, assistant customer service, customer success, operational, personal, keuangan. So each of those GPT only have one function, and those one function is specifically intended to help you on only that part. You can even sell your custom GPT to other people if you want. I'm selling my own to my Indonesian market. So let me share this to everyone here. Billing for dissertation and thesis. There you go. Yeah, everyone can try using it. I sent you the link on the custom on the chat site. Yeah, there is a good question. Let me answer it. So what's the best AI to analyze research paper and writing thesis? Arguably, it's Perplexity. If you have a pro account, or if your university provide with your pro account. If you don't have it, then you can use Gemini 3. You can claim it for free as a student or ChatGPT 5.0. Free user can access all of this, Gemini 3 or ChatGPT 5. Now, if you're really like using it to summarizing, that means, or analyzing papers, you need to upload all of those research paper to the AI. Either it's Gemini or Perplexity or ChatGPT, upload it there and then let it analyze it. If you need ChatGPT or Gemini 3 to find the paper, then you need to open the function of research, web search. Let me show you. Here, you can go to Gemini, go to these tools and deep research. You can use this, and then it will work on the thing. Like for example, I'm a psychology student, right? Before, so I'm writing a thesis or question in psychology regarding social psychology. Please find appropriate journals not more than 20 years old in social psychology. Media publication. The main theme is human behavior with technology, predominantly AI. So this is the type of prompt that I'm going to use. Let the AI find the research paper, not more than 10 years old, including the publication. Then after this, I'm going to get the PDF file, download the PDF file, and then upload it to Gemini to analyze the whole thing. Does it make sense or not? What are the main points? And so on and so forth. Okay, go back to this. Okay, the second question is you need to do experiments and feed the result of information. Upload gdoc or docx if the main data is text. Upload gsheet or XLS if the main data is numbers. Now, if you notice in ChatGPT or Gemini, you can technically connect all of your data with, there you go. You go to this, or plus, then you can easily go to your Google Drive here. You can give access for Gemini or ChatGPT to access your Google Drive. So you don't need to upload it again. You just immediately ask for the data from them. So the AI will go inside your Google Drive. All right. Now, upload picture, JPEG. If the data is in visualization. So one of the clients that we do is architect, buildings, interior design. They use ChatGPT and Gemini. They uploaded data to ChatGPT. So if AI agents, I would say if you got budget, manus.em and perplexity, you can claim for free as uni student. Let me make that. So this, yeah. Hopefully it answered your question. Now, if you want to upload all data at once, it's always better to go for it's always better to go for there you go. Go for PDF. Right? If the text, numbers, and visualization is in one set of data, better for you to upload it with PDF file. That's it. So you can use 4 weapons in your artillery, in your arsenal: Perplexity, Manus, Gemini, or ChatGPT. All right. And then the rest would be in you as the one to operate the AI. You need to understand the file needed. If we chunk it out, text, use gdoc or docx. data numbers using G-Sheet or XLS. If visualization, use JPEG. I hope it answers your question. Please feel free to ask more questions, yeah, if you get in your mind. Now, this will be quick regarding the prompting side. In prompting, the first thing that you can do is using role prompting. Role prompting means that you put a role for the ChatGPT. You assign a role for the AI to act on it, a specific persona, right? So, for example, you are an academic researcher, primary responsibility to provide rigorous, reason and evidence-based explanations. So you create a set of parameter for the AI to work on, then act on it. You can also use the second variation, use ground theory, provide clear academic reasoning, research-oriented, and so on, and then do a certain amount of task. A little bit of what I've done in before, I've shown you. I'm a psychology student doing my master's degree. I need a journal that are not more than 10 years old, and so on, yada, yada, yada. It's a role prompting. I usually use this when prompting anything on my AI. Reverse prompting is when you want to recreate something that's already been done. I usually use this about when in doing research and content. I've seen good content on the internet. I upload it and then act on it. Like for example, this is a picture. I put it into ChatGPT, then I ask, I like this picture and I want to recreate this picture. Please give me the prompt. Then it will give you the prompt. It's reverse prompting. So you upload the final data, and then it will try to create a prompt to yield that data. You can copy writing style, you can copy art, you can copy images, videos, even color grading using this reverse prompting. As long as you upload the final piece of data, ask the AI to recreate the prompt, then use this prompt to another AI, and then it will generate maybe quite similar to this final piece of data. Now, chain of thought is when you try to instruct the AI to think step by step. So the AI will not give you the final answer immediately. It will give you the reasoning why the AI finally gave you that answer. So like this, my research findings show a 15% decrease in participant engagement compared to previous study. Think step by step. Think, this is the keywords. Think step by step about possible theoretical or methodological reasons why this occurred, and suggest how to improve the design, research design. So the AI will not suddenly say B as the answer, but it will process A and then explain, deliberate, try to explain to you why, give you an elaborative explanation why it becomes B. This is very important. This is imperative for people who work in academic settings, because in academic settings, you need a strong justification in reaching that conclusion. Very different in corporate settings. In corporate settings, most of the time, you don't need a great amount of justification as long as the numbers are good. If it yields profit, then the management will probably say yes. But in academic settings, you need to have a good justification and reasoning. So to help you out, you need to ask the AI to think step by step in theoretical framework and then explain it to you. Then you can understand the whole process, why A becomes B. because it will deliberate the answer to you. This is variation 1. You can use variation 2. A recent study introduced a similar research model using different analytical approach, analyze step by step how this new model might influence the interpretation of my studies, and so on and so forth. So it explains why this research will impact your research in deliberative process, not immediately saying the answer, but give you a justification, explanation, and you can use it for your own standing, for your own argument to your professor. Okay, Sir Hamza, you can yeah, open your mic.
Thank you so much, Mas Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam.
Sorry for interrupts your discussion, or
Fine.
I just want to ask. I'm just like joined this Zoom like late because I was busy. So thank you so much for the knowledge. I want to ask about now. I am in. So you have experience. I think you are a master degree, and you already do a lot of research. And now I am in S2. I am bachelor. In the last year, I have scripts. I have thesis. I want. I'm starting now. I already have topic. So some people say to me, it's okay. Use ChatGPT to write the proposal, all the thesis. But I'm confused. Like if I use ChatGPT, it's like everything from ChatGPT. I think it's not good. Even if I use like by myself, it's like a little difficult because these days like all the people like use ChatGPT. We depend on ChatGPT, and this is the problem. So I want to ask like, what is the right way to use the ChatGPT, and how to be how to connect, or how to be creative to use it to make like theses in not in short time, not in long time, need a lot of times. So this is my question. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the question. I will try to answer it using a table format. So in research, like fundamental research, you need to analyze the status quo, right? A phenomenon, issue, interest, and then find the theoretical framework, why it might happen, and then considering your research, maybe it's quantitative or qualitative, you need 2 or 3 variables, right? And then find the best method for research, analyze the research conclusion. So generally, when you do research, these are the steps that you're going to do. Like this is only the high level. Use ChatGPT in this ways. Analyzing the status quo. You can use ChatGPT or AI in general to analyze the news, summarize it, and explain it to you. So you don't need to find on your own about the things that are happening right now. You can use AI to find it for you. And then human side, find the interesting angle from AI. So after ChatGPT or any AI that you use, summarize the news, summarize the status quo, phenomenon, issue. You use your human side to find the right angle, which one is interesting for you and will be beneficial for the academic settings in general. And then you try to find the theoretical framework. The theoretical framework, one of the heavy lifting when we do research is reading journals, right? So you can use ChatGPT to limit the findings to X, maybe not older than 10 years old, in terms of journal, summarize it, analyze it. And then you will use the findings to rewrite using your own language structure. You rewrite it using your own language structure. It will be so much different. If you use AI and everything, you can do that, but it will reduce the satisfaction of doing research. It will reduce your ability to deeply connect about what's happening between your research and the findings. And then you reduce your creativity side because you heavily depend on AI, right? So you rewrite it using your own language structure. If I rewrite my articles, my essays using my own language, I would use the words like thus, therefore, ergo, lots of connecting words. Those are my words. Those are the things that I usually do. So you rewrite the finding of AI using your own language. It's fine if there are grammatical errors. It's fine. You can think about it later. Yeah, you can just write it on your own. When you write your research, please do not write it using the mind of an editor. Usually when we write our own arguments, when we write it, we try to edit the things that we are writing. Please separate the two, just write it using your own language. And then find the best method for research. Use AI to compare which one is the best, either quant or qualitative or mixed method, and so on. When I'm doing my research, I was using mixed method. It's a mix of participant-based questionnaire and then interviewing the heavy percentile of the data. So then also rewrite. I just use EBIT, yeah. Same as the above. Plus, personally pick the best method for you to apply in your environment and why. So when you pick the research method, find the why. Find it yourself. Or maybe because I have access to this large set of data, that means I can use it. Again, even if the AI understand which method that might work for you, you are the one who knows your physical settings, your environment. So do not let AI dictate you on this part. Make your own decision. Analyze the research quickly. I'm having a hard time using SPSS, SPSS, and statistics in general. So I use it quickly to analyze the data, significance, so on. So go up, go up, go up, go up. Data, yeah, rewrite using your language. Try to connect with the theory on your own. Or if you use AI, then find niches of findings that you can think of. Okay, I'll just reduce this thing. Then conclusion. Now you can use for the general conclusion, use AI. But on the human side, find your lacking and provide advice to future research. Finding your lack, this means that you contemplate your own path. So it's fine to let the AI do the heavy lifting on this part, but this is where you need to get creative. You rewrite using your own language. You try to find the angle that not just your interests. You try to find the theoretical framework with your own findings. I would even say you need to do interviews, because by that point you will talk to the respondents and then you can try to articulate your arguments. You can also try to explain your research to the participants if necessary. And then it helps you to think, find the niches of findings. Maybe there are things that the AI will never see. Maybe there are new variables that only be happen in environment. So the shift happens, all the data can be processed by AI, but all the relationship between the respondent, between the environment, between the physical settings and your variables, that must be on you. And then finally, on the advice about how the future research will benefit it from you, you need to make your own argument about that. You can use AI to rebut your argument. So it's like it's a kind of rebuttals, but do not let it be the one who create the argument. If you want to let the AI create the argument, I would implore you to create your arguments first and then let the AI create their own argument. And then you do the comparison between A and B. And then maybe from that, you can improve and sharpen your arguments. I do not think that using AI in this way will be bad, simply because it's like you're trying to make a point and then you use AI to contend, to challenge your points, and then you try to make a new stuff like that based on that. So if you remember, there are thesis, antithesis, and synthesis. You create your own thesis, your notion, your thoughts, you pour it out, then using AI to challenge your thoughts, and then you can use all the challenges given by the AI to make your own writing, to make your own arguments, to make your own justification. That way, your creativity, your human side, and then your ability to think rationally will not be degraded and will not be dictated by AI. And ultimately, when you do this research, you will find a certain amount of satisfaction simply because you let who you are, your thoughts, written on the paper. So I think that's my answer for this. I hope it clears up some of your
Yeah.
doubts.
Thank you so much, Ms. Muhammad. It's a wonderful explanation. Like, I got what you mean. Like, small question, please, Ms. Muhammad. Do you recommend me like another website like ChatGPT? Did you like that you get benefit from ChatGPT? Is there another website?
Right. So if we go to the ranking, I would say Gemini and Grok. Cloud is also good. So these three. You can go to LM Arena, lmarena.ai. They create a certain level of rankings from text, function, coding, and so on. So you can use like this. I recommend using Gemini and Grok.
Okay, thank you so much.
Got it. You're welcome. Good. Okay. Let me go one by one to all the questions. Yeah. Oh, there's a request to do the Q&A at the end. So I just finish this first. Yeah. There are only two more materials given. It would be train of thought is when you try to make the AI to explore several options first and then pick the best. right? So for example, in academic settings, I need a new conceptual framework for my research project. Think of at least 3 possible theoretical approaches, describe each one briefly, and then and then make a decision why it fits the best. So in this types of prompting, you let the AI to make his own arguments, to make his own justifications, and to explain to you why all of those options are the best fit for your situation. So you let the AI be a debater to explain to you why the solution is the best. Now, the last one would be group discussion. So this group discussion is a complex problem solving. You create a simulation for the AI to talk in different perspectives. Let me just show you. In this context, so it's a large scale study, digital behavior, blah, blah, blah. So you put a scenario to the AI, and then you create a committee of experts from principal investigator, research ethics, legal policy, data scientist. When you use this prompt, the ChatGPT will have 4 roles at the same time arguing about their own interests, their own point of concerns, their own thoughts, and then you can have the transcript of the discussion immediately. So you don't need to make a real life virtual group discussion. You can have your own virtual group discussion, focus group discussion on your own using ChatGPT. Maybe you can use like maybe in psychology, I would throw out, I have this argument, please create a narrative, please create a contrarian arguments from the perspective of Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud, and so on and so forth. So the ChatGPT will have different roles arguing about the arguments that I provided, and then have a final discussion about it. So it's a simulated focus group discussion. You make different types of role, different types of thoughts into the prompt, so the ChatGPT will have their own contention. Then you can just get the transcript. This is what I usually does in my business, in my work. If there's a decision that I need to make, and I need to find lots of perspectives in that decision, I will create several roles and then upload it to ChatGPT or Gemini, and then it slowly explains to me about the things that I can be done with, the things that I can do, the feasibility studies, and so on. All right. So this all the materials. I'm going to send you the materials in PDF format, so you can read it on your own. And I will ask from the committee to for my recordings. Now to the Q&A session. Okay. To make a downloadable data using this. Now, if it's visualization, it would be quite problematic because ChatGPT, Gemini can make an infographic, but for complex diagram such as waterfall, Sankey diagram, they still can. I hope this answers your questions. Yeah. To the next one. Okay, this is a good question from ChatGPT, Grok, and DeepSeek usually give me fake references when they cited research articles. So, okay. When I'm doing I'm going to show you how I do my market research. For example, please analyze media stock. Only use data from Bloomberg, Financial Times, Axios, CNBC. So if you use this kind of limitation, I would say this is a limitation. You only use data from, you can use any types of journals, publication. Maybe in psychology, I would use American Psychological Association, APA, maybe even use Emerald Publishing. But point being, you limit the AI to only use data from this. So you add this into the prompt. If you provide a limitation, then the AI will not go beyond than the limitation given. Okay? You limit the AI to only search on certain amount of publication, a certain amount of data, a certain amount of news. So the AI will not go beyond the limitation you gave. Okay. Add this prompt. Please ensure that, sorry, please provide the link. So to make sure that you have validity of references, you can use this prompt. You add this prompt. Please provide the publication link for me to check it on my own. When the AI finish the article, finish the essay, the arguments, blah, 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 you, with this prompt, then the AI will put the link into the article, and then you can check it on your own. If the link is invalid, then that means the thing is hallucinating. But if you combine these two, online only use plus this one, if you combine, then it will have a strong limitation, a very strong limitation, and a very strong validity, because it will not go beyond this, and it will provide you with the link to check it on your own. Okay, I hope this helps. Okay, this is from Mr. Muhammad. To check AI papers, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I hope this answered to your question, Mr. Muhammad. Uh, Okay. Let me scroll to the questions. Oh, sir, yes, yes, you can voice out. Sure, sure.
Oh, okay. Hello, my name is
Hello.
Afnan. I have a question for you, please. First of all, thank you very much for this impressive work and for very much new information about AI.
Thank you.
To be honest, our focus is more on the academia side, as you mentioned that maybe many students get mixed ideas that I will make AI do my work rather than I will make AI help me do my work. So I think we fall into that trap. But for this exact thing in the academia side and for the research, I would love to ask more about. I think these points have also mentioned about content quality when we search for research papers or article journals and same like this, and also for the resource credibility. Some of the participants also mentioned that we can not find these resources actually. And for the ethical use, how can we make sure that even when we are using AI or these tools that we are still on the ethical use, that we are not copying or pasting these things into our work? And thank you very much.
Can you thank you for the question. Can you repeat the first question again?
Yes, and just it's about how we can ensure the content quality and resource credibility and ethical use.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. I would use table to answer this. I love tables. Okay. Okay. And so it's a very good characterization regarding this. AI make their work rather than AI help me with my work. Yes, lots of us fall into this trap, even corporate settings, especially the government. So we need to understand that AI help our work, not taking over our work. So on this one, content quality, resource credibility, use AI only as a filter for papers. Find papers faster, limit the age of papers, find publication, find authors, number of citations. So we use it to find quality papers and then use to summarize, analyze, but still read the abstract on our own. So we have now, if we use the mindset that AI help with our work, AI will help in sourcing the articles, okay, the content, and then help in analyzing the article and content. But as the final gatekeeper, it will still be us. We need to read the abstract. Does it make sense or not? So maybe like there are millions of articles, right, every single year. We use AI to limit the findings into maybe 100 papers. From 100 papers, there are maybe 100 summaries. Then we just read the summaries. If we find maybe like 15 papers that we like, we read the abstract on our own. Then we can still maintain the level of credibility. We can still maintain the quality of resource. We can still think on our own, not outsourcing all the data to AI. Hence, I would say if you want to do research, find an interesting piece of notion of thought that you want to research on. If the interest level is not that high, it is easier for us, especially as human being, it's easier for us like to prone to use AI to do all the work because we hate the research, we hate the variables, we hate the topic. But if we love the topic, if we just like the topic more, then we use AI as a filter. Then we read our own abstract, we try to make it our own, then we can write it on our own. We have that level of interest. So find the research that you personally like and interested with, but also still give benefits to the academia, not just on your own benefits. Like that. Next would be this one, ethical use, not copying. Hence, rewrite using your own language. Rewrite using your own language. One of the tip would be write with Google Doc. Why with Google Doc? Simply because in Google Doc, there are variation and version history that you can look back and you can bring it to the faculty or to the university to prove that you're using AI to help your work, but the final piece of your work is still written by you. There are cases when a human write their own articles and essays, but the Turnitin, the AI checker, says that they're using AI, not using their own hands. If you do not use Google Doc and there are no version history, it's kind of hard to escape the allegation that you're using AI to do all the work. So with all the version history, you can show it to the faculty that, hey, I literally write this thing. Yes, I use AI, but the final piece of work is still me and using it, me rewriting it. And then understand your research so that you can articulate it verbally. If you use AI in all of your research function, then it is quite impossible for you to defend your arguments and your justifications when your professors and lecturers try to question the paper, try to question the articles that you wrote. So you need to write it with your own language, try to learn about it, and then have the ability to articulate it. So when you get questions from the professors and lecturers, you're still able to stand on your own ground. And that is ethical use of AI. If you notice, whatever answer that I'm trying to explain here is using AI to fasten the process, but not let it dictate your final piece of writing. Your final piece of writing should be you with your own hands, rewrite it, go to cafe, like find me time, whatever time that you need, and then write it on your own. Read the articles that the AI created for you, all the words that AI created for you, and then rewrite it on your own language using Google Doc. So you have version history, you have proof that you write it on your own. Now when you rewrite it on your own, you can use Grammarly to check the grammar. But that's just it. Do not use more than that. Hence, in the final moment, like in the finality of it, at the end of it, it really comes back to your own self-consciousness. How can you regulate yourself? How can you not fall into the trap of like using AI to outsource all of your work? You cannot do that. But the only way to ensure that you will not do that is yourself. One of the things that I can argue to reduce the proneness to use AI to handle all of your work is using rewritten language. You rewrite your findings, rewrite it using your own languages, using your own structure, using Google Doc as a version history. And then when you get tested by the professors and lecturers, you can stand on your ground because you can articulate it verbally. That's the most ethical thing that I can find, that I found right now. Hopefully it answers your question.
Yes, it did. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Well, there are lots of. You cannot use all prompt at once. It's like instructing a human being. It's like driving a car. You cannot go to A to B and C at the same time concurrently. Can only go to B, then go to C. If you want highest quality output from AI, do not put everything in one go. Okay? Do not do that. Use it sequentially. Sequentially. Okay? One by one. From A to B to C to D. That's like driving a car. You cannot go to B and C at the same time. Cannot. You can only go to B and then go to C. So do it sequentially. Okay? Do it sequentially in process. Now, how to reduce your anything except rewritten using your own hands are AI generated. So, for example, you have a written article and then you ask AI, please rewrite the article in human way. It's still an AI generated content. It's still an AI generated text. So anything except rewritten using your own hands, all of them are AI generated. And thus, back to my statement, if you want to do research, please find a research topic or topics that you personally like, so you're going to be more willing to write on your own. If you find a research that you don't like, then it is more likely you will outsource all the work to AI because you hate the topic. So there's a Goldilocks zone, like the best part from the best of both worlds. Find a topic that you like, find a topic that also benefits the academic settings, and then you still do the work. So as far as I know, AI scanners are usually trying to find the common words used by AI. For example, the word pivotal. It's kind of hard. It's kind of rare for people to use the word pivotal. So there is a tendency it might be written by AI. But again, even the AI scanners are not able to completely discern which one is human, which one is AI. Therefore, please write on Google Doc so you have version control, you have version history, and therefore you have a strong proof that you are writing with your own hands. All right. So it's a good point of thought that maybe the rise of IQ from AI will reduce the IQ of humans. It might be an interesting study. For me, it is an interesting study, but you need to wait for the data to be shown. If there are findings right now, you need to peer review that thing. Maybe it happens in US, or maybe it doesn't happen in US, in other parts of the US states. You need peer review and try to make it as large as possible. So I don't think the data is conclusive enough for us to say A or B. If we want to do this debate, it will be ontological debates, as the data is not shown. There are not enough data to make conclusive statement. You can do a correlation studies, but correlation does not mean causation, so it doesn't impact you. It doesn't like make it conclusive. We need causation studies, right? But causation studies requires 5 years at least, 10 years, even better, to find real causation of A and B. So the data is not conclusive, and if you want to make this a debate, it will be ontological debate, a theoretical framework debate, rather than a data-based debate. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Maybe there's data about this already happening, but for now, this is my answer. Great. So I think there are no more questions. Yeah, I'll give back the stage to Mr. Abdullah.
Thank you so much, sir, Mr. Muhammad Ahwy. It was a pleasure to have you today with us for this session. And we would like to thank you sincerely for this opportunity. And we would look forward for more collaboration for such insightful sessions and informative. And we would like actually to also thank all the participants for joining us today and for having this engaging session. Thank you all and have a great day. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I sent the deck to the committee already. Yeah, you can ask the committee. Also uploaded the PDF file to the comment section. Please check it out.